Hey guys, welcome back. This is Clayton53Dan back here again with an article. This is what if Deku was the only male with a quirk. Now, I will be doing, of course, more Sans. I really liked the last Sans one. That was really good. Also be doing more of this one, and I guess I'll be doing, well, really whatever the fans ask me to do. So I'll put out a post of like random what ifs, or actually no, wait, there is another one that Jeff the Whitaker gave me that he wanted me to do. So I'll be doing that other one. So damn, I suck at like doing my own schedule. So okay, what happened and why did it take me so long? I love anime, so I kept on binge watching. I was playing Apex, and this was the mostly main problem is that I had the story figured out. It's just that I didn't have the quirk. Now, that might be stupid. I know. You have a story, but you don't have a quirk. You should have the quirk, but not the story. That's true, but I had a good story going in my head, but I'm like, what would go good with it? And I'm like, well, why not this quirk? But I kept on thinking and like, well, not this or this or this. So after some disagreements with my mind and finally changing my Xbox name to Nightwolf 532711, and yes, that is my Xbox gamer tag or game name. It was Clayton53Dan before, but I'm like, that was too cheesy and a bit cringy, so I changed it. Saying, oh, well, why Nightwolf? Because I like wolves and the rush. Oh, and wolf girls. Fluffy ears. Yes, back to Deku. So, I'm going to set up this world in a nutshell. Well, not a nutshell. I guess I can kind of explain it. So, females are the only ones with quirks. That means the males are now inferior. They're just like me now. Hooray. I feel like my female commenters, like my female people are like, what? Yes, I'm not dominant, so yes. Don't know why, I'm not. So yes, do I want to see 20 or 15%? And I guess I'll go with in between. So that's that. I guess 17% of the world, or if I'm going truly accurate, 17.5% of the world is males. Yes, for being accurate, because I can't choose between 20 and 15 because it's 5 different. So yes, 17. Yeah, 17.5. Now it's more like 17% of the world is male. While the rest of the 83% is female. Hooray! Now, because of this, females have been decreasing, and this is the population when quirk started. No, in the middle of quirk, so like the 4th or 5th user. Now, it has decreased. And so, yeah. Whenever the 4th or 5th user were in, whenever like the first quirks came in, it was equal, and they like saying, "Oh, we were powerful," and they still treated the men with a bit of kindness still. Then it got worse to the 3rd user, the 4th user, and 5th user went back to the 2nd user technically, type of ways, and then the 6th user went. Basically, that person was evil. She was not good. Like, she was not nice. At that time, the population went down to 16%. And after, whenever she became it, and then Nana took over, Nana was actually a very helping person in her couple of years. The population of men decreased down to 14, Now, that doesn't sound like she was doing much, but she was still very nice to men. And then All Might came in. For the next couple years, it decreased to 9% of the world was male. That means 91% was female whenever Deku was born. So yes, by the time whenever Deku was born, it is 9% male and 91% female. So yes, and All Might is, I guess, Miss Might, if I want to call her that. Yeah, Miss Might or All Misses. That's nice. Is she is not like males because the villain that killed the first user was a male. But because of that, she doesn't like males, but All for One is a female right now. And yes, he has always been a female, but she disguised herself as a male and killed her brother, which that anger grew through. And of course, she kept on changing each time for each user until like the fourth or fifth user, and she stopped and just kind of, did that. So yeah, done with dialogue. Let's start the what if. So, we'll start with the birth of Izuku. Now, whenever Izuku was born, he is not born first though. The first one born is his, I guess, a 3-minute older sister, Izuki. Yes, I'm making him have a sister. Now, Izuki was a nice girl at first, and she was born on the exact same day as Deku, or Izuku. And whenever the doctor came in saying, we have good news and bad news, saying, oh, what is it? Good news is you have a girl. Saying, well, what's the bad news? Bad news is you also have a boy. Now, the rule is you can give them up for adoption, but that's until they're 3. So, like the mother she is, she wants to keep her child around to be used as, well, a personal servant. So, yes. As the next 3 years go by, or 4 years go by, they are both look like they've treated both of them equally, but really, Izuki has gotten more stuff than Deku. Deku has, little toys here and there, but Izuki has like multiple different toys, like lots and lots. And because of her job, she is really good, and her husband stays at home because men don't usually get jobs. They usually just stay at home. Some do have jobs, but they're mostly overtaken sooner or later by a woman. Now, whenever Izuki and Izuku turn 4, they head to the quirk doctor. Now, in this, yes, Deku will be having a quirk, but they won't. But they will know about it, so it will be hard. So, yes, Inko still has telekinesis, but Izuki will be like one of those ones that get Izuku, and Izuki will be one of those ones that get different quirks. Their father's was like an animal type quirk. He was very friendly with animals, so yeah. Now, whenever Izuki was analyzed, she had a animal command quirk. Think of it like that one guy in Class 1A, but it's a lot stronger. So it's still fine. Now, she cannot, how can I say this, control Deku. Yes, he will have a animal quirk. Just, he cannot be controlled by his sister. Yes. So as Deku and Izuki, as Izuki is checked out, they go home, and before they go into the car, Izuki asks, Mom, why aren't we examining me for a quirk? saying boys don't get quirks. They'll get in. As that happens, Izuki shows off her power at school. And the boys there's only about 5 boys there, and the rest are women. As they're bullied by Bakugo and Izuki with their quirks. Now, I'm gonna say, a year later, whenever they were 5, on the day Izuku woke up, all that night he felt pain, but he didn't know if it was real or not. So whenever he woke up on his birthday, on Izuki's birthday, no, I guess it should be a random day, because if I do it, it's gonna be like oh, it's supposed to be my special day, like why is it yours, and stuff like that. So what happened is, I'm gonna say a Saturday, Izuku wakes up with his mother yelling for them to get up and start working, mostly at Izuku, but not much at Izuki. Whenever he gets up, he feels something, and he pulls back the covers. Huh? What's this? As he looks at his bat, he looks at what he sees, and it's a tail. Not any tail, but a very big tail. If I'm putting this on a scale, it's about, I guess, 3 feet. No, 3 feet long. That's a yard long. That's a very big tail. No, I'm gonna say it's 2 feet long, and it's full of scale. I guess scales, or it's like what reptiles are, or they have scales or something. Yeah, they have that. It's kind of like reptile scales on a iguana or a Komodo dragon. Yeah, on a Komodo dragon or whatever, but it's like dinosaur scales. Oh well, that's another hint. Dinosaur scales, hooray! Now, what type of dinosaur is it? I guess I can show you. So it's a hybrid. It's the Indominus Rex. Yes, that bad boy. Now, Deku can change his, blend it in, so then his mother and sister can't see the tail. Now, whenever he gets up, he doesn't want to. He tries to get out of his room, but he gets this thought: what if mom and sis see my tail? They'll know I have a quirk, and they'll try to, he's trying to think of, like, what would they do? Like, he's already been hit multiple times already, even though he's male, so having a quirk would just probably make it worse for him. So he decides to think what he can do about the tail. My bad, I had a sneeze. He tries to think of what he could do. So he's trying to think, maybe I can, hide it. He tries to think of, camouflage or something, like looking around his room. But when he starts thinking of camouflage, his tail kind of goes in like a visible state. But even though it's there, it's just looking around the surrounding area. It's very hard to see, even with the human eye. As he's thinking, yes, okay. And it doesn't look like it's from his clothes, so it still looks like he has his shirt on, but really it's the tail looking like his shirt. Whenever he gets out, his mother yells at him to go, clean the dishes, mop the floors, and vacuum, as she hits him with, I'm going to say, a wooden spoon across the face. As that happens, Deku, I want you to mop the floors, like all that. Yes, ma'am. As he gets hit, of course, and he starts to whimper, and he goes and does them. As through this, Izuki is, teasing him and stuff like that, hitting him and trying to make him mess up, which she's trying her hardest, and it's working a bit here and there, but he keeps on doing his best. And his mother still, whenever he messes up, even though it's Izuki's fault, he gets hit for it. You damn brat. As he keeps on doing his work and stuff. As this has been going on for the next 3 months. I'm gonna say the next 3 yes, 3 years. No, yeah, 3 years. So he's 8 by this time. By this time, his tail has gotten up to, so if it's about 2 feet, I'm gonna say 2 yards long, because it seems like very big, but I'm gonna say it's only like 1.25 yards, because that's like really long. That's like really long. And so it's harder and getting harder and harder to hide the fact that he has a tail. And he can also, what he's learned in after school now, he's been going to the woods to see what else he can do. He can change his hands into like a claws of the Indominus. He's tried doing what his tail can do, and he can do it a bit, but it's whenever he has his scales on him. And he's tried shape shifting and see if he can do that, and yes, he can, but he hasn't learned how to. He's been trying to, but it hasn't worked so far. Another thing he has found is that, without his knowledge, a snake tried to bite him, but whenever he went to his camouflage, the snake didn't attack him. It could see, and he knew it could see the heat, but he tried to think, why couldn't it see me? As he's thinking, wait, does this quirk also give me the power to regulate my heat? And he's like, yes, that's actually really good against predators like that. As he hasn't really seen much predators come after him, and he's like deep in the forest. I'm talking deep, deep. Like where bears, wolves, jaguars, mountain lions, and other things out there would like kill him. And it's been a very common sighting out that deep in the woods, but so far he hasn't seen them for the last year. And he's wondering where they all are. Well, they're all hiding because, number one, they know what he is. He doesn't really know what he is, but they know that if they get him angry and riled up, they will all be slaughtered without a single trace in sight. And they're all pretty hungry back there, but they don't want to take the risk of all death. So Deku leaves and he goes up to the front of the forest. And he starts thinking that maybe they're just hungry or whatever. So he starts bringing like little rabbits, and some deer back there. And there's still light back there, but not much. No, there's a lot of light still, but not like all the way up front though. So he gets back home and he makes his tail, kind of disappear, and he gets his daily beating. You bastard! Can't believe you're home late again. Get to cleaning and then get to your bed. You're not having food tonight. And of course, it's like, yes, ma'am. He usually eats at school, even though they mess up his lunch either by pouring lemon, making it soggy, or like anything like that. And most of the men that were there before have now either passed or been sold, been taken. Deku and 15 other kids are like the only ones there now. There used to be about 45, but now it's been dwindled. So now that that's happened, as the next week rolls around, Zuki finally does something that Deku does not like. She started picking on this one boy. And she's been picking on all the boys, of course, making them mad, making them bleed and stuff like that. But this time it felt different. It felt like an anger inside of Deku finally clicked. A switch finally flipped. And Deku told her to quit it. And she's like, what are you going to do, Deku? You're only a Deku. What are you gonna do? You're only a boy. Boys don't have quirks. You can't do anything. As they try pushing him around more and more, pushing him side to side, as he's finally had enough of this. As he he uncloaks his tail, his claws come out, and he fully covers himself in spikes, and just absolutely. And if you know the Indominus Rex roar, oh my god, dyslexia, don't do it right now. I'm doing YouTube. I mean, I'm working for YouTube. That was a bad way to think in my mind, but okay. Yeah. He roars at him with the, the teeth of the Indominus. Whenever he can do that as well, but he finally unlocked that as soon as he roared. And whenever that happened, all the girls in shock screamed and ran away. As he helped the boys up, and they looked at him. Izuku, is that you? Yeah, are you okay? Thanks. You have a quirk? I've always had one. I just never told my family about it. Saying, that's so cool, dude. Maybe you could become a hero. As he's still bleeding, as Deku tries to help him and seal up the wounds and stuff like that, as he takes him to the nurse's office after cloaking everything. And whenever he walks away, he's called down to the principal's. And whenever he gets to the principal, they start, yelling at him to like this and that. And the girls are saying like, oh, he has a quirk, it's scary and stuff like that. He's a villain or whatever thing. Like, they all look at the girls saying, men don't have quirks, you stupid. Saying, pull up the footage, which of course they do. And they are all shocked. They see the red eyes, the white scales, the tail, the claws, and the teeth. As they look at Deku, you have a quirk. As of course they start tearing at Deku and then call it his mother. Which of course she's angry. So what does this brat do now? And she hits him in the back of the head. And she has like this kind of whip thing. So yeah, whips him in the back of the head. As she's shown the video and sees that he has a quirk. My Brett has a quirk. In her mind, I can make a lot of money off of this. Either selling him or using him as a hero. As they go to the quirk doctor, and the doctor examines him finally, saying, well, doctor, what's his quirk? Well, his quirk is an animal type quirk. It's a dinosaur. And they ask, they're all asking, what they want to name it, but Deku pipes up, how about the Indominus Rex? Saying, what? That's a stupid name. Actually, no, it isn't. This dinosaur is a hybrid between multiple different animals, but the main two being the T-Rex and the Velociraptor. And you're like, fine, you can name it. And only the government, this doctor, and the mother and daughter, and the rest of the girls know in school. As now, Izuki has the fine idea to use her quirk on Deku. As one day, a day after, Izuki says, hey Deku, and says, what? Why don't, and she turns on her quirk and her eyes glow like a bright green whenever her quirk is activated. So Deku, why don't you come over here and sit like a dog? Nothing. Deku doesn't move. He doesn't do anything. He says, no, I'm not doing that, Izuki. And he just turns his back and walks away. He's like, what? That should have worked. Says, Deku, come here. Deku, come here. And her eyes are still glowing, but Deku can hear her, and he knows that the sense is oh, it's a command, you should do it or something, but in his mind, it's no, fuck off. Freak off, friendly content, you two. I never said anything. Yeah, screw off. Why not? That's a better one. As of course she's gotten angry now, and with this, his ninth year of whenever he turned, as soon as they found out about his quirk and Azuki found out that her quirk didn't work, the beating has gotten worse on all sides. The girls have beat him almost senseless as their new toy because he's a lot more resistant now, of course. And Azuki can't use her quirk on him, so of course she has taken hitting him with a bat or a frying pan. And of course, because of this, Deku has got more and more deep down into the dumps. With this, Deku has finally noticed that his mother has started drinking, and it's a hard drinking. She would come home drunk. She would hit him with beer bottles and curse him out and more unsightly things of sexual abuse. As you know what? At this part, and I'll even put in a title, 18 plus right now, and I'm going to give it val detail from both the sister and mother side. Yes. I don't know. I won't do that. Never mind. Because if I think about that more, it'd be better to do it with a girlfriend or something like that instead of, the mother and the daughter. That sounds bad. Even in YouTube eyes, if I put that on, like, that type of content, never mind. Yeah. The mother and the daughter has sexually abused Deku as well. As more as emotionally and physically. Now, whenever he lifts up his shirt, there are scars under him, slashes, and his healing ability is really good. But on December the 1st, whenever it got colder and he had to stay in more, his family would usually get the beating worse. But on that day, whenever he was coming home, they were both Azuki and his mom were waiting for him to come in, so they would beat him up. But nothing happened. They waited 6 long hours, and nothing happened. A week passed. He still wasn't home, because he just finally just ran away into the woods. Finally noticing that if he went home now, he would be treated the exact same way. So he left for the woods. Now that he's there, he can finally take a nap and rest in these long, deep, and dark woods where he can rest and not be in danger of those awful, awful people. So now he sleeps. Now, I think that's all where I'm going to end it right now. Now, I know this is like not that much information, and yes, he has all the original abilities of the Indominus Rex, but it's kind of like times like 3 or 4 more powerful, like times that much more powerful. Now, with that, I will, now with that, my bad, my headset accidentally went off. Now with that, I will end it here, and I guess goodbye, and go over to my Discord, and yes, I finally have a Snapchat now. Hooray! And my Snapchat is, I guess I can have it as my, it's my Xbox name, and if you guys already heard my Xbox name, that's the name I use because I love wolves and wolf girls. I think the really reason I like them is because their tails on their ears. I really, really don't care about what they look in the chest area at all. Even though I would like them, you know, a bit plump, but take what you can get. You know what? I'm going to stop right there before anyone gets any ideas. All right, and that's it, and bye.